Xin chào mừng tất cả các quý vị đã quay trở lại với chương trình AIMS Talk của tập đoàn AIMS, tập đoàn định cư toàn cầu đến từ Singapore. Và rất là vinh dự trong buổi AIMS Talk ngày hôm nay thì chúng tôi đã mời được một vị khách rất là đặc biệt, đó chính là ngài Jacob Allmaras, là giám đốc đầu tư của tập đoàn Paragon Principal. Thank you for joining us for today, and can you introduce about yourself a bit and about Principal Paragon, please?
Sure. So I'm the investment director for Paragon Principal. We are a U.S. investment firm focusing on fundraising for U.S. projects, mostly on real estate projects. To date, we've done about over $2 billion USD in fundraise for U.S. projects. We do three categories that we focus on: is private equity, E2, which we'll talk about today, and also EV5 projects.
So actually, during this pandemic time, we see that a lot of countries got affected. America is one of the country, and during this situation, many people also lose their job and even don't have enough money to pay the rent or even own a house. So do you have any opinion about this situation, and do you think that is it the good time for the investor to invest in the US market or not?
Yes, well, first of all, it's never really advisable to try to time the market during either times of economic growth or economic downturns. But for us, we do see this as a good time. We're seeing a discounted home prices amongst the cities that we operate in, which would lead to higher returns for the client moving forward in the years after.
So many investors, they compare actually the crisis happened in 2008 and the current situation, the pandemic. So do you see that is there any similarity between the two situations during the crisis and during the pandemic? Is it also affected to the real estate the same way, or is there any difference between?
Well, there are some key differences. The 2008 financial crisis was an issue with the financial system in the United States, whereas this is due to an outside, the coronavirus is due to an outside threat to the economy, and so that's a key difference. And so people still think that the fundamentals of the economy are still strong, which is much different than in 2008. And in terms of home prices, it will affect some home prices, but we operate in middle class to lower middle class single family homes, what we call Class B and Class C properties. And that's the core of the real estate market.
Yeah, so Paragon focus on buying the house and also for the stable rental income, right? But actually during this situation, the rental also related to the job growth and also the population and also the income of the people. So during the pandemic, a lot of people losing their job, so they don't have enough income.
Yeah, everyone still needs a place to live, and we're, like I said, we're operating in Class B and Class C properties, which is around $800 to about $1,500 per month in rent, which is on the lower end. So anyone that's in a working class or professional class that does have some economic difficulty, they're going to downsize and they're going to fall into our category, right? Yeah. We're sort of the category with we don't operate in higher end properties, so we're operating in the lower end, and we certainly will see perhaps even more demand as people decide to cut costs or to downsize.
Understand. So regarding real estate, location is number one factor that's super important. So for the strategy in terms of investment, which state or which city that Paragon normally invest in and why?
So we operate in what we call mid-sized cities in the United States. We stay away from the big cities like Los Angeles, New York, Miami, San Francisco for multiple reasons, but one of the big ones is the fact that these larger cities are quite volatile. During the last economic recession, you saw housing prices drop in Los Angeles by 40%, Miami 50%, New York 25%. Whereas, for example, one of the cities that we operate in is Memphis, prices only dropped about 10 to 15%. So the downside is much less, and it's already fully recovered beyond the 2008 crisis.
So you see the great opportunities to invest in the mid-size investment. However, like, do you see that actually is it safe for now? Because for the investor, safety and good liquidation is like the main focus of the investment.
Yeah, we do see that. You know, there's multiple reasons. First of all, these mid-sized cities, people think of the economy being located in New York or LA or San Francisco, but these middle-sized cities, you know, the populations of maybe 100,000 to 900,000. They have vibrant, strong economies of their own, and so there's there's already strong demand within those cities that help.
So when you talk about the mid-sized cities, which cities that you focus on?
Yeah, well, the beauty of this business plan is we can do this throughout any mid-sized cities in the United States for the client's interest and request. But the cities that we focus on, the cities where we have a portfolio, we have investments already, is Memphis, Cleveland, Houston, Texas, these types of cities.
So it seems like you also agree with Warren Buffett that he used to say that actually invest in the single-family homes in the US is a very attractive investment and really can help the investor to raise the profit in that.
Well, from what we think and our research, you know, this is, as Warren Buffett alluded to, single-family homes is sort of the core of the real estate market. There are other sectors of the real estate market that I'm sure have good returns, but you know, with the economic uncertainties, you know, the hospitality sector, the commercial and corporate real estate sector, those could change. But people are still going to need an affordable place to live, and that's what we focus on: affordable places to live.
When you say about majority shareholder with the 300,000 investment, so how many percent of the equity that they can have in that project, and do you also together invest with them?
So we have already invested. So Paragon ourselves, we've acquired over 1,000 units, acquired and rehabbed over 1,000 units within China and the United States. And to date, we've been very successful. We've had 100% rental income. So, you know, your previous concern about people not, you know, renting out the properties, we've had 100% success on that.
So what do you compare between E2 and EB5? Which program is more attractive for now?
Well, they both have pros and cons. But in terms of E2, it's much more affordable. It's much more flexible. And one of the big things for clients is, you know, they're not subject to U.S. global taxation, which is a concern for some clients. And so, you know, they can still operate in Vietnam or elsewhere, but still maintaining an E2 visa. So there's, you know, the EB5 requirements are a bit more strict, whereas E2 has some more flexibility.
So actually E2 compared to EB5, they can reduce about 60% in terms of the investment amount, right? And also like the visa for their whole family to live in the US can last for 5 years, and actually they can also like reapply the visa anytime, right? As long as they keep the investment.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even really consider it a 5-year lease. This is a indefinite period. As long as the business is active, the E2 visa will be there for the client.
So actually, together with Paragon, the investor can invest in a single-family home, and also they can have the good return for 10 to 15%, and they also can have the E2 visa at the same time. Is that right?
That's correct. So they're owning properties. They own the title deeds of these homes. They see a strong return, and also including they get their E2 visa. So it's really a win-win for the client from a financial perspective and an immigration perspective.
So you mentioned a lot about reliable return, which is like 10 to 15%. So is there any benchmark compared to other industry when they invest in other industry in the US?
Well, you know, one thing you can look at is the stock market over time. Historically, the stock market, from its inception, has seen returns around 7%. So this is something where you're probably going to see above market average, but also people need to realize, you know, they're owning the physical asset, right? And they have the title of these properties because they're the majority owner. So, you know, they're not investing as a passive shareholder. They're investing as a partner, and they own these properties, and they have a managing say in this business.
Great. Do you have any other advice to the investor for now?
I think for them, if they are interested, you guys are very experienced immigration side, and we're very experienced from the investment and real estate side. So if clients do have want to have more information, then they can consult with both of us.
So actually, we also do one of the event to have the client to understand more about the investment and also understand more about the E2 program in AIMS office. So we're gonna do the event in June, actually 20. Thank you very much for joining us today.